We have finished the first 6 months of our market, of our 2024 housing market, and everywhere I go, people, I mean, it's like the first thing out of their mouth, Mike, how's the market? So the first thing I would tell you is that our market is healthy. You hear all kinds of things in the national news, but we are definitely healthy. And part of what's keeping us healthy here is we don't have a ton of houses coming on the market. Let me tell you what I mean by that. 217 homes come on the market during the month of June. So the question is that a little or is that a lot? Well, historically, our 10-year average has been 257 homes coming on the market. By the way, this is Bonneville County. And the 3-year average has been 266. So we are trailing by about 25% the normal number of new homes coming onto the market, which we can attribute to people saying, well, gosh, I think I'd just like to wait to see if interest rates come down, which is a whole other discussion, which we won't talk about today either. So anyway, homes coming on the market, we're lagging behind our averages straight across the board, month in and month out, which is causing us to have less inventory. So that's really the next question, inventory levels. So we are sitting at 347 homes on the market today. Historically, we've been running for the past 10 years at about 326. So we are very, very normal with the number of homes we have on the market. The spread of the price ranges has changed over the years. It used to be that we had a lot of homes on the market under 300. Now, not so much. Everything is 300 and above. Our average price, by the way, here is $410,000 so far year to date. Nationally, the average is about $435 to $440. So we are a little bit below the national average, even though a lot of us who are from here think, gosh, these prices are crazy high. Well, nationally, not so much. So new contracts, how many offers are going together? Well, last month we had 186, pretty good. Last year there was 187 during June. Well, historical average, 209 for the past 10 years, 183 for the past 3 years. But our closings right now, we're lagging about 2% behind last year, year to date. So pretty good, no question about that. But at our June, we just had fewer closings happening. Now, average price over time, the average sales price, I mentioned 410. So this year, year to date, if we take all 6 months, we've averaged right at 400. Last year, it was an average of 405. So it sounds like our price went down, doesn't it? Well, that's not necessarily true because the size of the home, the average size of home that's selling affects the average price. So price per foot is something that we measure. Now, folks, I'm going to give you some numbers here, but do not necessarily apply them to your home. We're taking out small acreages and we're taking out homes that do not have basements when we give you these numbers. So far this year, the average price per foot is sitting at $155 per foot that homes are selling for. Last year, it was $150. So we are up a little bit from last year, which is about what we would forecast it would be. But again, the mix of houses that we're actually selling has changed quite a bit. And so there's a lot more to this particular story, but just know that the indication is, and supported by our home prices have elevated here locally so far this year, 2.5% to 3%, which is really following the national average. If we say 2.5% to 3%, that's 5% to 6% for the year. That's pretty strong in any normal time, where historically, since World War II, the average price increase over that time has been 4.4% nationally. Okay, so that's pretty representative. We're doing well. Our list to sell ratio, so how much negotiating is happening? The list to sell ratio, which means the selling price, the actual selling price compared to the listing price at the time of the offer, 99.3% year to date. 99.3%, which means there's not a ton of negotiating going on. Now, within that number, we do have a number of properties in which there are seller concessions, meaning the seller paid some cost for the buyer. But an indication is, again, that once a home is properly priced to the market, there is not a lot of negotiating going on, which is important for both buyers and sellers to be aware of. So if you've recently purchased a home and you've got more than 1% of negotiation, you did pretty good. So overall, I would just tell you that our market is doing well. People are worried about interest rates. I think it's like anything else. Gas prices, when gas started going up and people said, well, when gas gets to $3 or $4 per gallon, people are going to quit driving. Well, they didn't quit driving. People got used to it. The historical interest rate at about 6%, that's average. We got used to something abnormally low. We're never going back to that level unless our economy is falling apart. So today's rate at 7 is a little bit higher than the 6% that the Fed has targeted for us to be at, but it's not by much. And remember this final detail when it comes to the market. The highest interest rate you'll ever pay is when you buy your home. Because when rates drop, what are you going to do? You're going to refinance. So market's good. If you're thinking about selling, it's a great time to sell. We don't have an overage of inventory. If you're thinking of buying, it is a good time to buy. We've got some cost of waiting analyses that we could provide for you that you might find very interesting. With that, I'll say, see you later.